Police say they found him across the city in a backyard, naked, holding a Bible, where they used a taser to bring him down.
He said that he was Jesus, and there was really no reason whatsoever given. It was a completely random choosing of the victims.
And was walking down the street naked when he spotted him.
I think he said something about I'm a Christian soldier or something, and then we were like, what the F? He turns around and sees us, and that's when he, starts running at us full sprint, and that's when we get inside.
APD says Ninecker was holding a Bible, telling officers he was Jesus before officers used a taser to take him into custody.
His mannerisms were erratic. He was saying that stuff about power of Christ compels you.
Detectives say they're still trying to understand what drove Ninecker's actions that day.
We're still looking into the drug portion of it. He could have been under the influence of narcotics. It might not necessarily be all attributed to mental illness, so we're still investigating all of that.
Walt, we're learning new details about this bizarre and tragic incident that sprawled across the town of Austin, but started right here at this Target parking lot. But today I spoke with a witness that tells me they saw Ethan get arrested in their neighborhood, but not before he charged at them completely naked. On Monday afternoon, Austin police say 32-year-old Ethan Ninecker opened fire at a North Austin Target off Highway 183 and Olin, killing a Target employee in the parking lot. He then shot a grandfather and his 4-year-old granddaughter sitting in their SUV.
The actions of the suspect showed a complete disregard for human life.
Investigators say the victims, 24-year-old Hector Martinez Machuca and 65-year-old Adam Chow and his 4-year-old granddaughter, were targeted at random. Ninecker is charged with 2 counts of capital murder and 1 count of murder. Police say he stole Chow's SUV, crashed it minutes later, then hijacked another car. Witnesses described a trail of wrecked vehicles and a suspect determined to keep running.
It was just a really bizarre Monday. It was just out of the blue.
Brian Jones saw it all, literally from his front yard in a quiet South Austin cul-de-sac on La Casa Drive. Police say when Ninecker got to the area, he ditched his clothes in a nearby porta potty. Jones says he then took a shower using a neighbor's backyard hose and was walking down the street naked when he spotted him. The documents show he told officers, quote, "I killed a man and a baby girl today in the Target parking lot because I'm Jesus." Criminal defense attorney Amber Vasquez is not connected to the case, but says what's described in these documents raises major legal questions. Police say Ninecker admitted he shouldn't have shot them, and when asked why he spared Chow's wife, who was also in the SUV, he first said, "Because mothers are pure." Then, quote, "I guess because I ran out of bullets."
Then someone from Ninecker's Bible study said Ninecker threw a brick through his home. Police found him naked on Montclair Street, and he was tased and arrested. We asked police what his motive was.
He said that he was Jesus, and there was really no reason whatsoever given.
I'm your Brevard County community correspondent, James Sparvero. We have a little more insight now as to why the sheriff's office says a 22-year-old drove from Texas to West Melbourne to kill his own grandparents. The motive has been the big question in this tragedy. Last week before a judge, Jeremiah Campbell broke down as the judge read him his charges, including 2 counts of murder. Just like we saw him crying in court a week ago, this new affidavit from the Brevard Sheriff's Office says Jeremiah Campbell was sobbing uncontrollably and shouting a stream of incoherent words when he was arrested too. It reads, "After Mr. Campbell was detained, he made a spontaneous utterance saying that God told him to send his grandparents to him, and now Satan sees I am a valuable man of the kingdom."
He wanted his grandfather dead.
Last week, Terry French, whose granddaughter was shot too and survived, told me he lived across Washington Street from George and Mary White, who were in their 80s, for more than 30 years. The sheriff's office says George White ran to Terry's house after Campbell killed his grandmother first.
Best neighbor you ever know. Do anything for you. I hope we get close to an answer. That's the real question I want to know.
Also available for public record now, there's a list of things that sheriff's deputies took from Jeremiah Campbell's grandparents' house. Included in that list, and it doesn't specify to whom these things belong to, but there's guns, prescription medications, and I also noticed a wig and a handwritten note that they seized. I've asked the state attorney's office about what's written on that note. As soon as they share any more in the investigation, we'll update this story again on News 6 and ClickOrlando.com. In Brevard County, I'm your community correspondent, James Sparvero. News 6.
The image on your screen now is taking over social media tonight. It appears to show a shadowy figure that some say looks like a demon. A man posted the image to his Facebook page. Since then, it's been shared thousands of times, with people debating, though, whether they see a demon or an angel.
This is why Peter warned that Satan's objective is never to be benevolent, but always to be diabolical and predatorial. As he said in 1 Peter 5:8, your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring, devouring lion, seeking whom he may devour. So my wife and I and the family were staying down in Florida this last week, down on the Gulf of America. You start looking for something that's a danger that maybe you didn't even recognize was a potential danger at all. And this, to me, is what's really the problem I think many of us have. We don't realize how real an adversary the devil is. And I don't want to get people all freaked out and see demons in the toilet, but I've checked ours, and there have been times when there's things that are otherworldly in there. Is it that hard to flush? But he says he wants to devour you. This word katapino in the Greek, eagerly eat you up. Paul said in Galatians 5:15, he said, we need to be careful that we don't bite and devour and consume one another. It's the same word. That he wants to bite you and devour you and consume you. So that in screw tape letters, Lewis characterized the devil's pleasures. It says, they love to bite and hear the crunch of your bones between their jaws. Very graphic illustration, but he was trying to say you have to understand that this diabolical intent is not something that is happenstance or casual, that he is determined. And I think that oftentimes as Christians, we are not nearly as determined in our pursuit of God because we fail to recognize how determined the evil one is to keep you from pursuing God. He is essentially, Satan, that is the embodiment of everything that is wrong in the universe. And there's a lot that's wrong. So until that evil is taken out of the way, which doesn't happen until the end of the tribulation and the end of the millennium, this world is going to be struggling and having problems. But secondly, the second thing necessary for the world to live in synchronization with heaven is that the universe itself is going to have to be replaced with a new heaven and a new earth, as we talked about last time. And again, I emphasize this because I don't think it really sinks into people's mind. You know, because when you speak of your life in this world and someone has said very popularly, you need to seek your best life now, you have to understand that that's not even functionally possible, even as a Christian, to have your best life as you might define it.